Well, we're back at it. Driving down to Grand Island here to the shooting range that I usually go to sight in my guns and stuff. So, beautiful day today. It's Saturday, I believe the 5th. In a couple days, we take off to California. Aiden graduates from boot camp, Marine boot camp. So, really excited for that trip. And we'll bring you more on that. As far as I know, he made it through it, so I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming he got through it. We head off to San Diego Monday morning, or Monday afternoon actually, and then we'll be back at the end of the week prior to the opening of Nebraska rifle season, which is the next weekend. So I'll be back on Thursday, at Friday, and then Saturday is opening morning, so we don't have a lot of time. I need to get these guns a little bit more tuned up. So the two guns that I'm going to be shooting today, one is the 308, Savage 308 High Country Savage 6.5 Creedmore Axis that I had just recently purchased. And the reason I don't have that thing sighted in right is because the trigger mechanism on that thing was faulty from the box. It wore out the landing, I think, on the trigger where it catches and releases. Something was going on there. I had a buddy from work that took it. I was getting really frustrated because I couldn't get the gun to not trip the safety accu-trigger. Anytime I bolted it or even tried to pull the trigger, it would just lock up. Instead of fighting, I painted that stock, so I wasn't going to get any kind of warranty or anything with it, and I knew that, and I wasn't worried about it. But instead of going through all the red tape to get a new trigger from Savage, I just went ahead and upgraded to a aftermarket trigger. Trigger that I went with was a Sav 1. So the Sav 2 is a much better trigger, I hear, but they won't work with that trigger guard bolt release. I had to wait for the trigger to actually show up. Once it showed up, I got it to him, and it took him 2 or 3 days to get to it, but that's okay. So we're kind of pushing our time frame here because we got to take off here in a couple days. It's about 1.5 trigger pull on it, so it's pretty light. It's a nice smooth trigger, real crisp. Feels great in that gun. Anyway, that's what we're doing. Stick around and see how we do with these two guns.
Target, put a new one up, you go ahead and do that. You're done shooting at a target, please bring it in. Do lane, I want to do lane 2.
All right, we got a ceasefire here. Time to go down. We went ahead and shot a little bit before I had the camera going, but anyway, we're gonna go run down here and grab our target, see what we got here. Jeremy's back here today. Jeremy's good stuff. Really easy to get along with. Very meticulous about safety. So yeah, we're happy. The 6.5 is shooting much better than I figured it would right after getting it back. I took it out probably a week or probably 3 weeks before I took it to Andy to get fixed, and was messing with it. So I had that scope all jacked up, and it was maybe 2 inches off at 100 yards, so up too high, because I was actually trying to sight it in for 200. So anyway, let's see what we got here. All right, so here's where we started. And then I turned it down about 4 or 8 clicks. Turned it down another 4, and we're right in there. So that's good. That was that's the XP from Winchester. This one here was the Normas. Pretty tight group, and I'm surprised because these are 129 grain, these are 140 grain. And it looked like they're actually shooting higher. I shot 4 at that. I don't know if I went inside one or not, but it looks like I might have. That one's pretty big. And then these were Sig Sauer. Their bullet. So anyway, we'll go ahead and keep shooting at this target, and we got the bottom one here and the bottom one here we can still shoot at, so we might get the 308 out. We'll just have to remember that the 3 right there, and then we got 4 up here on top, so we'll shoot the 308 next, see what it does.
Let's go ahead and check our eyes and ears. Ears are on.
We're gonna go ahead and go with the 308, I think. I'm gonna change rifles, Jeremy.
You can go ahead and get ready. Fire at will.
Well, I've been watching it, unfortunately.
All right.
What's that?
We're gonna shoot. We're gonna go ahead and shoot right here. Pretty dark in here, but hopefully you can see me. I got the 308 out. 150. These are 68. Let's shoot these XPs for the 308 and see where we hit with those. We should be good with this because we were hitting 600 headshots last time we had it out. So find my clip. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and shoot the 308 here. And we got our level on this one too, so we can.
What?
Level it out here.
So, can't go. Okay, here we go.
I still feel a little low. There we go, that's better. All right, well, we had to adjust the 308 a little bit because for some reason it was off. Oh, attack driver.
Are you at a good point where we can do a ceasefire?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was
Yep.
that look? What was that look?
Oh, for some reason I was like 2 clicks off on my 0.
Huh.
But I think the last time I took it out, after I was down there at the 600 yard range, I took it out again and was fumbling with it because I tried a different ammo. So I think that might be why. And I took the 0 stop out too because Have you ever set these?
Mine has one, but I've never.
I cannot get it to set right. It wants to go about 2 or 3 clicks too far.
Yeah, I've never set mine. Mine's not that advanced, but it has one on it. But I'm assuming it's the same. Mine, I mean, mine's Vortex, but not like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do a ceasefire.
Okay. All right. So here was our first 3 or 4. Pretty happy with that. We got three in there. And then these 4, we're just trying to find where I was at. We do have a backwind today, so I don't know. That may be messing with us a little bit. I'm going back to the 6.5.
Go ahead and place the rifle here. Okay, guys, you go ahead, head down range, hang new targets. If you have a target that you're not shooting at, please bring it in. You can also check your targets. The target stands are labeled with the numbers and the target stand down there. You guys are good to go ahead and do that. And when you come back, please make sure that you get behind the line for us.
Can I get another target or?
Yeah.
I happen to have one right here.
Awesome.
So, I want to see that, right?
Thank you, sir. We're gonna probably use the Creedmore, so I want to get that dialed in a little bit more. So there's what we got with the 308. And then this was the 150 grain with the 308. So they're a little bit high, and about 1/4 inch off this side. Go back and we will tune that 6.5 in. I really like the way that gun's shooting. Feels nice. That trigger's nice and smooth and short. The only thing I don't like is the scope on it right now. I really want a better quality scope on that gun, but I don't think I'm going to get too worried about it. Scope makes a gun, don't it? The scope's what makes the gun.
Guys, we're gonna call the range hot. You guys make ready, fire I will.
Awesome. All right, good to go.
Alright, on.
What's your name? Huh? Madden, okay. You can't see him like this, so now you're going to have both elbows on the table.
Oh yeah, this baby's spot on still low.
Okay. Instead of trying to do this, and you got this out here. Put this up here. That might be a little better for us.
Steve will tell me how by the drug.
Have spots still.
That one was a little high.
How you doing over there, bud?
Yeah, I do.
And
What? Let's do it. What, you have a jam? Keep the gun. Thanks for reminding me. Good, man.
Good shot.
The tubes there. We'll be shooting through those tubes at steel targets down there. So, little different. We're doing a ceasefire on the other side, so I'm gonna get over there and grab that other target. 200, we're all by ourselves, which is nice. Everybody's just over at the 100 trying to get their deer rifle sighted in. A lot of kids out today, which is fine. That's always good. I want to see with this new scope on this 6.5. I've never shot over 100 yards with it. So I want to see exactly where I'm hitting at 300 and just see where my tick's at, and then I can kind of follow up off of that with a ballistics chart or something. But yeah, we do have, well, I think it's going to shoot pretty flat. I really do. I think we're probably only going to be, you know, maybe 6 inches low at 300 if we hold right on. So we do have a little bit of a backwind. We'll see what goes on there, but there's a pretty good wall here to help break that wind on the other side, so I don't think it's going to affect us too much. I'm in the shade there. We're going to hold right on. Safety off. Right on the line. Same spot. We just put 2 in the same hole. These XPs from Winchester are amazing. Now these are 125 grain in a 6.5 Creedmore. If you got a Savage Axis 6.5 Creedmore, I would highly recommend these Winchester Deer Season XPs in 125 grain. They are absolutely killer out of this gun. All right. Center it a little high. Man, I don't want to stop. These are the ones I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see that. The light's really bad in here. I'm probably covering it up. 6.5 Creedmore. So So here's our head shots, and there's our other shots there, and here's our mid shots. So we're gonna go out to 300. Fun today, and we know we're good at 300. We know our 300 mark. Anything after that, we're gonna be a little bit questionable. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching. All right, well, we're done with the day. We got both of the guns out. This is a different one here, but I was gonna bring this up in a minute here. But so we took out the 308, the High Country. Had to dial that a little bit more again. That one just absolutely loves the Hornady Black. If you have that gun, it loves that heavier bullet. It loves that 168 grain Hornady Black. And I definitely think that's probably going to be the load that I use in that gun. I'm not sure what it's going to be like with deer. I don't know, but it is very accurate out of that gun. So this Savage 6.5 Axis. Now this gun here, I did have some issues, as I said earlier in the video, with the trigger. So we had to replace the trigger. This is the old AccuTrigger that came out of it. Now I don't know what the differences are in the build of these trigger systems from, say, the High Country and their more higher end rifles compared to their Axis lines and stuff. But had a lot of issues with this trigger. So we went ahead and went with the Sav 1. Now this is my old trigger out of this Savage. This is a 270 with a wood stock. It's an old gun, but we went ahead and put one in here too. So if you're looking for a really nice trigger system for these Savages, you really can't beat this Sav 1. So really happy with that trigger. Like I said, I think Andy set that around that 1.3 to 5. So it's very light. It's a very light trigger, and I'm really happy with it. Basically feels just like the Accu trigger that I have in my 308. It's actually a little bit lighter than that even. So I also have that in this gun here, this 270. We'll clear it, make sure everything's clear. But it's very light trigger. Now it's not as light as my Creedmore is right now, but it's still a very nice, crisp trigger for this gun. I'm gonna go ahead and set this one to the side here. So here's the Creedmore. Okay, this is the one we were shooting today. Make sure it's clear, everything's clear, nothing in the clip, nothing in the chamber. But you can see that trigger, barely touch it, and it's going off. It's very crisp. I mean, I love this trigger. I didn't think I was going to like it compared to that Accu trigger, but this thing is just spot on. I'll show you a picture here of what we ended up with as far as grouping at 100 yards after we got everything tuned in with this gun. This gun is a joy to shoot now with that trigger. Now these are the loads that I used today, and this is what I'm going to go with from here on out with this gun. These are 125 grain. This is from Winchester. These are the Deer Season XPs. That's what we got. And I wanted to show you one other thing that I picked up today. This was after the fact, after we got done shooting, but don't know if anybody's familiar with the Primos line. They've been around for a long time. So anyway, this is the Primos trigger stick. This stick will adjust to any height that you need it. And what I got here is their basically their gun rest. So it's very stable. I really am impressed with this. It does have a little play in it, I mean, but it's very light. It's aluminum based, aluminum framed. So and a lot of plastic in here, but you know, for 60 bucks for that head, and I already had the trigger stick, really impressed. And I can get this thing to go down flat to the ground and shoot off my butt, shoot off my knees. I can stand and shoot, and you can adjust this on the fly. I mean, I can get this up here to where I'm right there ready to shoot, and it's very adjustable. So you can also loosen this up and you can tilt it whichever way you need. It swivels, so it's just like a turret basically. And like I said, it has a little bit of play, but I think you're going to have some of that in any kind of gun rest. I think it was like 80 something, and the attachment for it was 60 bucks. So you're looking at 140 bucks or so for that setup. 140 bucks for this is well worth the money. Now, as far as durability, I don't know how it's going to do in the cold and stuff with all the plastic on it. I would hope that it's going to hold up, but you know, I just needed something since I don't have a bipod on this gun, and I wanted to try to keep this gun as light as I possibly could. This was the next best option, and where I hunt is pretty wide open. So you're sitting on a hill or down in a valley, just waiting at certain spots for the deer to channel through. So you have to be pretty much just stationary, and there's a lot of tall grass. So when you get down in the prone position in a lot of those places, you can't see. So that's why I decided that this would be the next best thing for me out in that field environment, where I could get this sturdy without having to build up bags, or, you know, I can shoot off, like I said, I can shoot off my butt, I can shoot off my knees, I can stand up with it. It's just really versatile, very easy to adjust. That's what we're going to be using this season for rifle this year. So keep your eye open for that. We're going to have that hunt coming up here in a couple weeks. Really excited to get all this stuff out and put it to the test. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I want to thank you for watching Public's Eye Outdoors. Stay safe out there in your hunts, everybody. We will see you on the next video.